What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The catch. I hope you guys are doing fantastic tonight. Hope everybody is having a great Friday and is looking forward to a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys are ready for another live 2025 fantasy football mock draft here on the catch with you guys. With the catch. Hopping into a 12-team full PPR mock tonight. Format will be as usual. Quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex spots, and 5 bench spots. So you guys know what it is. We're gonna have some fun. Gonna talk some fantasy football. Hop on in here, get in the live chat. Let me know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football questions that you guys have, a redraft, dynasty, or best ball. Throw them in the live chat. We're going to have some fun tonight. We are going to talk some fantasy football. We have a little bit of preseason action to respond to from tonight. But to be honest, I've been kind of keeping up with everything, but I didn't sit down and watch the games that were on tonight. So, I'm going to look at the statistics and everything with you guys, but it'll be another 24 hours or so until I kind of have a better understanding, for lack of a better term, it's coming to my mind, of the preseason games tonight, because I do like to go through and actually watch, the highlights and everything, and even the non-highlights. But all we really have is the Titans Falcons, and to me, from what I've seen, Cam Ward actually looked quite good. The stats don't really show. By the way, we'll start the mock as soon as it's filled. Invite is on Discord and in the YouTube chat for you guys. But Cam Ward, the stats, 2 of 7, 42 passing yards. I think he had a QBR of 52, 53.1 or something like that. But a lot of drop passes by LKO Manor tonight, as well as Van Jefferson. So I feel like it could have been better. We didn't see Calvin Ridley out there. Chicken Conquo not out there as well. So I wouldn't overreact to Cam Ward's play tonight. And if you're super worried about Calvin Ridley now for some reason, when they looked very sharp together last week, then don't be. I think it's be just fine. I guess that's really it. Falcons, we didn't see anybody play tonight of substantial value to fantasy football in any way whatsoever. DJ Chark had a catch. Cornerback. Actually, I don't know what position he played. I don't know why I said cornerback, but the Falcons have a Lamar Jackson on their defense, in case anyone's curious. But, Trevor Siemian played tonight for the Titans. That's my guy right there. Julius Chestnut got some touches. Gunnar Helm was involved, for anyone who cares. But, there's really nothing to go over tonight other than the small sample size from Cam Ward tonight. So I don't think we need to overreact in any way, shape, or form. And then currently we have the Chiefs Seahawks playing right now. Gardner Minshew getting the start. Carson Steele getting some involvement, as well as Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco in the passing game. Tyquan Thornton involved. Taquan Thornton. How do you say his name? All right, we are full. Let me get the final warnings out. Make sure you guys are ready. Get your keyboards ready. Get your phones ready. Let's do it, boys and girls. It's mock draft season. Let's go. Juju Smith-Schuster to catch. Zach Charbonnet involved with a little tutty. Sam Darnold, 4 of 4. Ooh. Give me Bijan tonight. Renee, 4 carries, 45 yards on the ground, and a tutty. JSN a catch. AJ Barner a catch. Elijah Guerrero a catch. Look at that. Okay, I'm excited to go back and watch that Seahawks opening drive, I'm assuming. See how it shakes out. See the ball in the chat. Zach Charbonnet is the 1.1 now. Let's go. I do apologize in advance, guys. I'm not feeling that great today. Kind of been fighting off a head cold. So if I start to, wither away during this stream. I apologize. Albert, what's going on, bro? Taylor says I've never been more invested in preseason football. Locked in. I kind of have been the same way so far this preseason, but tonight, not so much. Well, I mean, I am, but I just last week I like sat down and watched all the games on Saturday while I got a lot of work done, and that's probably what I'll do tomorrow as well. But yeah, we'll revisit some of the Chiefs Seahawks stats tomorrow. We have Packers, Colts, Patriots, Vikings, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Eagles, Panthers, Texans, Niners, Raiders, Chargers, Rams, Bucks, Steelers, Jets, Giants, Ravens, Cowboys, Cardinals, Broncos. Then Sunday, Jags, Saints, Bills, Bears, Bengals, and my Commanders to wrap up Sunday night. And for those of you guys in League number 2, for the Catch community, we will be drafting Sunday night at 8, so we'll have 2 games going on while we're drafting. Sorry to anyone who wanted to sit down and watch those games. I mean, put on the preseason games and draft. All right, first round wrapping up here. See Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua falling to the end of the first round, which doesn't really surprise me. I will have a video coming out Sunday talking a little bit more about this. I'm trying to give it, a little bit more time to marinate, but we have Neighbors, dealing with that toe and shoulder injury. And then the latest news on Malik Neighbors is that there's an undisclosed injury. It is not the toe or shoulder injury. We have a third injury popping up for Malik Neighbors. So Neighbors have been my guy this offseason. You guys know that. But yeah, I'm a little worried about my boy Neighbors. And then we are seeing Puka start to have some fallback in drafts because the Matthew Stafford situation. So let me know how you guys are feeling there. And like I said, I'm going to be putting out a video Sunday where I do talk a little bit more about this, but it's always hard this time of year. And I mean, it's hard whenever we're kind of anticipating feeling over injuries, it's during the regular season, right? Like news can come literally like in the next 5 minutes or nothing can happen over the next 5 days. So I'm trying to hold off a day or two on that video in case we get an update on Stafford or Neighbors, other players involved in that video. But, I do have some concern about Neighbors. And like, for example, I have a high exposure to Neighbors, like on best ball, and I'm trying to even that out a little bit. All right, there goes Bucky. I'm going to say, man, Bucky's a tough pass for me right there. Double hero RB. Still an option here, but I'm going to go JSN. I'm going to try a specific strat tonight. Yeah, Chase Brown gone to 211. And man, for me, I have no problem reaching on Chase Brown, and I love Kyron Williams. I don't really consider it a reach right there if you go with either player. It's just tough to pass on them. And you see Chase Brown, Kyron, Bowers, Hampton gone there, and I went in and went JSN. I could have got JSN anyways at the I mean, I don't know, maybe Michael or Tamone would have taken JSN, but still you look at the players available here, Hill, Higgins, Garrett Wilson, they are not far removed from where I have JSN ranked. So if you got the quote unquote reach right there for a Chase Brown or Kyron or even a Hampton, I say go for it. I'll go Garrett Wilson here. Well, I might locked in watching Gardner Minshew on a Friday night because that's, it's the beauty of fantasy football, of NFL football, of preseason football. I think especially I know a lot of people right now, they're oh, I'm not paying attention to preseason at all. I refuse to take it seriously. And I'm I mean, I understand, and I've said it, over the past week and a half or whatever, 2 weeks now, you don't want to overreact to anything, you don't want to underreact to anything, but it is certainly good to take in everything that's happening. And especially with Dynasty being so much more popular now, so many people in Dynasty leagues, if you're in Dynasty leagues, preseason is, I think, super important. Like, I mean, we have a super deep bench. We have taxi squads. Like, there's nobody who's out of the equation. And like, I don't know. I think just getting prepared for the season, every little step along the way, even if you have the smallest feeling or nudge towards a player in either direction, like it is important. What's up, Andrea? Hey, lots of OGs in this J Fitness. Yeah, it's a good group tonight. We got Gob in here. Let's go. What's up, Johnny Edwards? Hope you're having a great evening as well. Good to see you, bro. By the way, guys, I have one final league for the 2025 season. We have 5 spots open. It's a 3 wide receiver league. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, 1 flex, and 5 bench spots. It's a $20 buy-in, and that league is drafting 1 week from today at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Might push that draft back like 30 minutes. I don't know yet. Friday nights, run a little late before I can get on, but we will be drafting. Oh, wait, that's a Saturday. Never mind. So it's not drafting a week from today. It's drafting a week and 22 hours from today. So never mind. It will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want in, let me know in the chat or shoot me a DM on Sleeper or Discord. Discord preferred. Hey, T. Higgins fell to the 311 tonight. 3rd round, interesting tonight. Bowers, Hampton, Gary Wilson, Trey McBride, 3 quarterbacks, Allen, Jackson, Hill, Cook, Walker, JD5, Higgins, MH Jr. So, yeah, James Cook, obviously, with that big 4-year extension. It really happened 3 days ago. I guess so. I guess I haven't streamed since Tuesday or Monday night. But, yeah, I do think we'll see James Cook move back into – I think the 3.8 is very appropriate. But I've been drafting James Cook all off season long. Like, I've been taking a discount on James Cook. And my viewpoint all off season long has been that James Cook will be back with the Bills. And, even if he regresses, right? I mean, we're still looking at what? Going from 16 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns to 8, 10 touchdowns over 1,000 rushing yards. Like, the floor very safe for James Cook, even with Josh Allen getting an immense amount of volume as a rushing quarterback. So do you think we'll see some more confidence, so to speak, in drafting James Cook? Trayvon Henderson still continuing to move up in ADP and solidify himself as an earlier draft pick. And I won't be surprised if you see Hendo gone before players like Chuba and Breece Hall in a lot of drafts as well. But I do feel like the hype on Henderson is it's just getting intense. It's getting up there. All right, a lot of running backs gone in this round. Round where I was planning on going RB. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm still taking this discount on Terry McLaurin. Once again, my belief all off season long is that Scary Terry's going to get a deal done. Rashee Rice. So I did read an interesting note on Rashee Rice. I wonder if it's on here. Maybe not. I didn't really read that. Yeah. So the NFL supposedly initially wanted to give Rashee Rice a 10-game suspension is what was recommended. But the NFL Player Association basically rebutted and said there's no suspension that warrants a 10-game suspension. Like, that hasn't been a thing. Like, even like For example, the Deshaun Watson situation. I don't think he even got 10 games when he was suspended. So I wouldn't say he was suspended for 11 games. Never mind. I was like, I need to check that. That doesn't sound right. So I guess there's nothing in writing that explicitly states that a player will be suspended for 10 games. And I mean, I don't know the exact specifics. So I would say I don't think that's great news for Rasheed Rice though. Like I think that uh, that's going to bring like a minimum of a 6 game suspension potentially. So plus like what it's not going to be heard until 4 games into the year. So you get Rasheed Rice for 4 games and he misses 6. I don't know, becoming a weird situation. All right, sorry, J Fitness. For the 12-team Superflex half PPR tight end premium keeper league, Gary Wilson in the or keep 2. Gary Wilson in the 8th, Kyron in the 9th, Jimmy in the 10th, Kyler in the 11th. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, second thoughts. I keep Wilson and Kyron. I do kind of like that idea. I know initially we were sold on just wrapping up the 2 quarterbacks. This league's been going on for 4 years. Historically, it's been pretty mixed in earlier rounds of QB, so it doesn't completely dry up by round 5. Thinking can snag Fields, Love, T-Law, maybe even McCarthy. Then getting a Ward, Young, Penix, Tua, or Gino late. Take the 5, 6, the 5. I mean, what rounds are you? So, like, would you have to go quarterback 5, 6, and 5, 11? I mean, I think like either way, it's fine. But kind of like we talked about on Discord, I think I would commit to either going double skill position and going Wilson and Iron, or I would commit to going double quarterback. Like I mean, maybe there are some out there who would say just meet in the middle and take one quarterback, take one of the skill position guys. But I think I'm of the opposite. I think I would just go with one strat or the other because generally, for me at least, when it comes to super flex leagues, like that's how I play. I either go aggressive at quarterback early and get 2 out of the way, or I'm going like late round QB only and attacking skill position, running back and wide receiver. So I think personally I would be okay going with one of those 2 strategies and using your keepers based off of one of those 2 strategies. But I guess it may depend where you get those quarterbacks. May go QB 6th or 7th round or 7th, 8th, depending on the board. It's tough. I mean, I think if you can get I mean, I like Fields a lot. So, like, if you can go Fields and then one of the next 3, even if it is JJ McCarthy, I'm okay with that. I have music on tonight. You guys hear the music? It's like, you know what? I don't think it'll get copyrighted. Because, yeah, I mean, like, you have no picks through the first 4 rounds, correct? So then you're going to have, you go Fields. I just wonder what value you miss out on it at this with the skill position guys. Like, what picks do you think get replaced by QB here? 5, 6, 5, 11, 8, 1? because then I don't know if it outweighs missing out on potential skill position players, if that makes sense. Because before, like you're also part of the value here is you're giving up the 10th and the 11th selections. It's tough. Yeah, I think you commit one way or the other. See the Seahawks being a sneaky improved offense with new OC and improved O line play. Yeah, I kind of agree with that for sure. And I think their defense could be okay. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing in this draft tonight, but we got receivers galore over here. Hero RB action. And for every running back for the Seahawks just breaking off chunk plays. Yeah, I mean, a Clint Kubiak system. I've been saying it all off season long. It is made for the running back position. That's why I like Kenneth Walker so much going into this year. I think a lot of people, you look around the fantasy community, a lot of people are on Kenneth Walker for that reason. But I've also said all offseason long, Zach Charbonnet is arguably the best, most elite handcuff you guys can draft, because if Walker goes down, this system is just made for the running back position. And I think if you do draft Walker, and if you're worried about the injury history and you go and grab Charbonnet, this is a great. I'm not always a fan of drafting, spending that much draft capital. Drafting drafting a Bucky and a Rashad White, drafting a Gibbs and a Monty. I mean, Gibbs and Monty might be a different story, but I don't know. Monty's not really a handcuff. He just gains value if Gibbs goes down. They both have standalone value, but I mean, Walker, Charbonnet, right? I don't know if I always would be a big fan of spending that much draft capital, right? Bucky, Rashad White. And there are other examples out there. I don't know if I want to draft Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatabo. I don't know if I want to draft RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. Pollard and Spears before Spears got hurt. Jones and Jordan Mason. But with the Seahawks, I would definitely do it. Yeah, they have some good running backs on this roster behind Walker and Charge as well. I still remember 2 years ago thinking Kenny McIntosh was going to be a thing, but he's on IR. Is he not? Took a lot of Kenny McIntosh and rookie drafts. Yeah, I think it's that time of year. My daughter just had summer camp. Her school doesn't start till September 2nd, but I don't know if you guys remember, I was sick a lot last football season and had to tough it out. So I will tough it out for you guys. Don't worry. I will if I miss during the football season. If I miss, I mean, I won't miss anything. Yeah, it would. I have to be deathly ill. Someone sell me on Genty over Henry, CMC, and A-Chain. Well, I won't be that guy. Yeah. We got Cameron in here, quiet tonight. An aggro RB approach, early QB, early tight end goes Genty over Henry, C-Mac, and A-Chain. But it's A-Chain. That's the thing. If I'm going Genty, if I'm going Genty over those guys, as long as I get one of those other guys, I think I'm okay with it. But yeah, in terms of my rankings, I still have Henry, C-Mac, and A-Chain. I think I have Henry and A-Chain above Genty. Then the end of that tier is Genty, C-Mac, both with risk circulated in for very, very different reasons. But they're still all my second tier running backs. That hasn't changed. Pulled out some of my memorabilia and came across my catch t-shirt from winning the playoff showdown that year. That was the first year of the channel. Yeah, I need to bring back the playoff challenge. I don't know. The thing is, the only site that did it was the NFL.com. But yeah, I think because like Underdog getting sponsored by Underdog, we moved to like Underdog tournaments through the playoffs, second year of the channel, and then just never went back. But the playoff challenge on NFL.com is really fun. And it's basically exactly what you would do in the Underdog tournaments that they run through the playoffs. It's just like you win a chance to the Super Bowl through the NFL website or whatever. But we had our own group, and whoever won it got a catch T-shirt that year. Let's go. Yeah, I never wear the catch gear, but I have it all. I've never gotten rid of it. It's all in my closet. I need to get some running backs on this team if we're going to have any hope. Loaded at wide receiver, though. This was a tough draft. I initially did not want to particularly draft like this, but I just felt like too many good receivers coming my way. 1-3 is a tough spot. This would be a drafted from Sunday night. Garrett is the 3 this year. A wide receiver, leading CD, but a JJ clears. I'm not opposed to that. Yeah. I would say if Bijan's there, I'm taking Bijan 110%. For me, overall rankings is Chase Bijan. If you're in enough leagues, you can go Bijan over. I don't know. Best ball drafts, you can get some exposure to Bijan at the 1-1. Yeah, Chase Bijan got to be the first 2 players off the board for me. So if Bijan falls to the 1-3, like tonight where Lamb is gone at the 1-2, then I'm taking Bijan. CD, JJ, like you're splitting hairs. I think JJ is going to be completely fine. I have not been worried about it whatsoever. In my rankings, I've had JJ over Lamb, but like once again, you're completely splitting hairs. If you have Lamb over JJ, I don't have any. There's really, I don't think there's really much of a debate per se. I'm okay with that. Yeah, running backs dead in the water in this draft. Going tight end. But yeah, Garrett, I wouldn't overthink it. If you like CD more, then just go CD. No matter what, you're getting a great wide receiver 1, or a great RB 1 potentially in Bijan. If Chase Bijan are gone and you know that you're going to have the wide receiver, I do have Lamb or JJ over Barkley, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Nico. If you wanted to go Saquon there, though, I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, it's between CD, JJ, Saquon. You want to go wide receiver? You want to go CD? I'm good at that, man. Can't take him over Chase Brown. Who, JSN? So, yeah, I was going to do my bounce back strategy, go running back, wide receiver through the whole draft. And yeah, it just didn't pan out. And I do kind of believe that Chase Brown, I think in drafts this month, leading into the beginning of September, I think Chase Brown's just going to be a second round player. I'm glad to see Kyron kind of be pushing back up there. Hampton has gotten pretty close. Depends on the draft because sometimes we're still seeing Hampton fall to like the 3-5, 3-6. Every now and then, even a little bit further. Depends on the draft. But I think the big thing with that tier wide receivers, which I still like, Jason, Wilson, Higgins, Tyreek Hill, MH, maybe Mike Evans is in the conversation as well. I think Adams is shifted out. I think, and I think Terry McLaurin has certainly shifted out. Worthy might be close to being bumped up here. Well, we see Pickens out to 4-5, Metcalf at the 4-9 tonight, Bryce still at the 4-12. But initially, JSN, Wilson, Hill, Higgins. Like I don't really feel like people see an immense amount of upside in those players, maybe outside of Higgins or arguably Hill. And I think a lot of people are worried about Hill for different reasons, the consistency of T. Higgins, and then maybe a real ceiling on a weekly basis out of Garrett Wilson or JSN. But you guys know me, I'm okay playing for a floor. Like I will take consistency. It doesn't really bother me. But I think a lot of people tend to try to draft purely for upside, which is perfectly fine. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So I think players like a Chase Brown, like a Kyron Williams, like an Amari Hampton, being drafted over even like Bowers, McBride, Allen, Lamar, just for the positional advantage. Like I think people just are okay with just taking either RB upside or positional advantage over that wide receiver tier. And that wide receiver tier, remember earlier in the offseason, like Marvin Harrison Jr., Higgins, Scary Terry, they were all up in that range above a lot of those running backs. And at least against Trey McBride as well. The interesting thing about the offseason, though, things changed. But yeah, I think Chase Brown is probably going to solidify himself as a second rounder. All right, I thought maybe a running back. there's literally. I mean, I guess there are running backs I like left. I mean, yeah, I would take Baker there if he was still there. Tell you guys that much. Am I going too hard on my Justin Fields drafting? Dang, I wanted Braylon Allen too. Keep forgetting Tate Moan is on the Braylon Allen train as much as I am, I think. And guys, I really like Brees. Braylon Allen looks good. Just a big back. Very talented. Dang, Michael, 3 tight ends? What is this, man? Dude, I don't know if you guys watched today's video, but I am in on Tucker Kraft. Like, I will draft Tucker Kraft as a second tight end. 3 players I had queued up: Baker, Braylon Allen, and Tucker Kraft next to Fields. But that's what I like to see. Make the drafts difficult, ladies and gentlemen. The drafts have gotten more and more difficult as the offseason has progressed. League mates are starting to take quarterbacks at the second pick in the second round, which is crazy. Someone will fall round 2. So at like the 2.2. I mean, hey, this happens in leagues. These type of things happen. Going elite wide receiver, then double RB to 2-3 turn is my favorite strategy. Nothing wrong with that, man. It's a good start for you for sure. Yeah, whether it's Chase or Lamb, JJ, whoever. I mean, really, because like not everyone really crazy about the 1-1 this year initially, but I think it's one of the best spots to draft from because you can go Chase. And then whether it's JT, Bucky, Brown, Kyron, Hampton left there, depends on the draft, right? This draft, you're only looking at 3 of those options, but if you can snag up 2 of those running backs, I'm good with it. Now, if things land correctly at like the 111, 112, and you can start with some combination of Neighbors, Puka, B. Tom Lundo, AJ Brown, and then you get enough fallback at running back. I just don't know if it's going to happen. It was happening at points in the offseason, but then if you could go back and snag a combination of Cook, Walker, Hall, I like that a lot too. There was a point where Hampton was over there too. Now he isn't. Kamara, I'm okay with. Hendo, I'd be okay with, but maybe start out with like two of those still elite wide receivers and get good enough running back value at the 3-4 turn. I like that too. But I always like the turn, you know. I always like either turn. Going Hurts here. Going to see how the strat goes. See how it works out. Get Jake Bobo round 4. Shout out Jake Bobo. James Cook is ready. That's right. Yeah, do you guys actually think Rashee Rice will get a 10-week suspension? Oh, did I make Garrett? Yeah. Sorry, I'm moving slow tonight. Sorry, Garrett. It's been like a good minute on your question too. I'm not ready for this. It's only August. Wait till we're in season and I'm streaming and I'm like 50 minutes behind your guys' chats because I can't keep up. Worried about Terry McLaurin. I'm just not. I haven't been worried about anything this offseason though, so maybe don't listen to me. I don't know. Yeah, I think 6 games makes more sense. So what? Plays 4 games back week 11. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, Michael, I've had Worthy pretty high all off season long. I've been pretty aggressive on drafting Worthy, even if nothing were to happen to Rashee Rice. So, beginning of the 4th, I'm good with Worthy. End of the 3rd, I'll still take him there. They go QB round 6, 7, or 7, 8, depending on the board. One year this league with 3 late round QBs. If you hit on the right late round QBs, I mean, percent work out. I'm going to draft Rico Dowdle because he's the only running back left that I have any faith in, and I don't want Michael to snipe me. I have Worthy ranked ahead of every wide receiver that went in this 3rd round. G. Will, Hill, Higgins, Marvo. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm okay with him in that range. I'm just making sure there's nothing at the bottom of the chat I missed. I'm on the clock. Jared Goff just getting passed on all night. Weird draft tonight. I like it. Might not be in the 5th. Just push QBs. Yeah, if you can push QB to 7 and 8, and get Kyron and Wilson, then I like it. Yeah, if you can still get wide receiver RBs in the 5 to 6 range, then I like it. I mean, I think the Worthy hype is going to start sooner rather than later. And he will move up a bit. Will not be surprised. But I feel like I don't think he's going to go in front of players like Wilson, Hill, Higgins, or MH yet. Or maybe even Evans. Everyone gone here in the fourth, I could see him going before, for sure. What's up, Cameron? Good to see you, bro, Chacho. Debating Worthy over Higgins and JSN. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the confidence is picking up, but he fell tonight. So. What are the chances we move these league drafts back a little, like 9:30? I don't know. Which ones? Which ones? What, you're in league? You're in league one. I think league one is going to be a 9 p.m. start. It's a Monday. What? You're in the Superflex, right? Now Superflex, I might actually move back to 9:30. Maybe in luck there. I don't know about league one. Does it do work? Superflex, I think, could happen. I didn't really think that one out. All right, let's do some team reviews, and then we'll see what happens after that. All right, Hurts in the fourth with Jonnu and Kyle Pitts. I do think if you're going to go late round tight end and punt the position, these are two guys I'm okay with. I like Jonnu Smith. Call me crazy. Do you guys think I'm crazy for liking Jonnu Smith? Kincaid on the board. I'd probably like Kincaid a smidge over Jonnu, but I like Jonnu. Jonnu, Kincaid, Fergie, Pitts. A combination of those four guys. Feeling okay. I think Tucker Kraft is above them. C-Mac, Hero RB, Tracy Warren, Jadon Blue, Rashad White. Neighbors, Higgins, Devonta, DJ Moore. And Devonta at the 5'11", such a smash. DJ Moore is a great value at the 6'2" as well. Keenan Allen the 11th. Nice. Yeah, I like this team. Hurts, one of the two tight ends, C-Mac, Tracy, Neighbors, Higgins, Devonta, Moore. Solid. It's a true hero RB team, so that RB2 just got to work itself out. Keenan Allen's great on the bench as well. I like it. For what it is, hero RB, early QB, I actually don't dislike it. How do you feel it went for you? Andrea started aggro at receiver. They ain't out running back on a tight end and a QB. So Purdy, Ingram, you're fine there. Aaron Jones, Pollard, Brian Robinson, Charbonnet, and Bigsby, and Nick Chubb. I'm really not drafting Nick Chubb, but I guess we're going to see some Nick Chubb action tomorrow. It's your 13th round pick. I really don't care. Puka, B-Tom, MH Evans is pretty great. Thielen in the 11th. Fine. So Purdy, Ingram, Jones, Pollard, Puka, B-Tom, MH Evans is a super solid lineup. You have enough running backs on the bench. I mean, it's just a zero RB team. How you guys feel? I feel like the hysteria around Brian Robinson Jr. is growing. I like Charbonnet and Bigsby where you got them. Hey, Bo. Drake May's your guy, huh? Drake May, Fergie, okay. Chase Brown, Hampton, Javonte, Ramondre, Braylon Allen, Ray Davis. So kind of like a double hero RB. And I talked about this in the double hero RB strategy video I did. You can start your draft with a wide receiver and then still go double hero RB. Lamb, Worthy, J-Mo. I felt like J-Mo is a really good value here. I guess that's a little bit against ADP, but like I like him there. Waddle, Pearsall. I'm not a Waddle guy, but it's fine. May, Fergie, Brown, Hampton, Lamworthy, J-Mo, Waddle, or Pierce Hall. Nice. I still think Javonte's fine where he goes. Stevenson will have some sort of volume in his backfield to lose, like Braylon Allen, Ray Davis, fine anchor. Good team. Cameron, what do we throw together tonight? Burrow and Laporta. Burrow in the fifth, Laporta in the sixth. 4 RBs to start. All wide receivers between the 7th and the 13th. So, Genty, A-Chain, Walker, Hall. That's fine. Jennings, Shakir, Pittman, Kirk, Burden, Tillman, Palmer. This is a really interesting team because, like, you know what to expect out of QB and tight end. I know Laporta's banged up, and we don't really know what it is. But assuming he's fine, like this team would be Burrow, Laporta, Genty, A-Chain, Flex Walker, Flex Hall, start Jennings, start Shakir. You're getting a bit of a discount on Jennings and Shakir because they're both banged up right now. And really, the play here is to flex the running backs, know what you're going to get at QB and tight end, and then just get the best available floor, hopefully a ceiling, either wide receiver 1 and 2. But, like, obviously, your wide receiver 1 and 2 are not, you know, in a tier, they're not names that, I mean, they're outside of the even like the Diggs Myers tier, right? But they're still very good values here. Pittman and Kirk are good values. Then you kind of just have two upside swings of Burden and Tillman and Josh Palmer, right? So I think this team could work. It's an interesting build. I like it. Cats at the 1-6 tonight. Lamar Action Jackson. He's good at football. Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid. Should be good. Look, I've seen you draft a lot of Loveland lately. See, yeah, I guess he did do something last week. That's right, I remember that now. Okay, JT, Hendo, Pacheco, ETN, Nico, Ridley, Debo, Shahid Ayuk, the best wide receiver of all time, Jalen Coburn. So you're starting Lamar, one of the two tight ends, JT and Hendo, Nico, Ridley. I think you could end up flexing Pacheco and Debo here, but you're really just figuring out the flex with what's left. So it's not bad. I mean, Pacheco and Debo hit for you. It's a very good squad. Mike, what did you do over here, bro? What is this 3 tight end build I'm still mad about? Kyler, Caleb, Bowers, Kelsey, Kraft, Chase, Rice, Olave, Golden, Kyron, Connor, Scattaboo, Benson. Like, I mean, as much as I am mad about you taking Kraft from me, I don't think you need him. You either got to replace Kelsey or Kraft here with the wide receiver, especially if you're drafting Rashee Rice. So, I mean, it's not really. I'd probably take like Michael Pittman at either the 8-12 or 9-11, or Jaden Reed or Christian Kirk. Then taking Scattaboo there is fine if he's your guy. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this too. If I draft Bowers, I'm not drafting another tight end. I mean, I get it. You can. I know everyone's always like, you can flex a tight end, but it's just not ideal. Kraft is one thing because he got Kraft in the 11th, so I think you have to at least hold off on Kelsey here. So Kyler or Caleb, Bowers, Kyron, Connor, Chase, Olave, flex Matthew Golden, flex Kelsey, flex Kraft. I mean, it could work. I feel like you always draft kind of aggressive at tight end, though. Like, I feel like you historically draft 2 tight ends. But 3 is overkill. Like, 3 is overkill, but also with the early round selection and Bowers is just too much. You're going to be hurt elsewhere. You did lock up Arizona's backfield. So you got that. But also the Rashee Rice thing is sketchy right now. Matt at the 1-4. Look at that. Matt said, please. That was nice. Baker at the 10 was a great value. I was going to snag Baker up at the 10-10. Good value for you. McBride, fine. Gibbs, Bucky, Christian Junkins, also a guy who could end up being good value in the eighth at this point. And then yeah, JS or JCM. Ooh, he's dealing with a shoulder injury that he suffered, supposedly minor, but yeah, apparently Brian Robinson's season is doomed. Metcalf, Sutton, and Dunze Diggs, great value there, receiver. Higgins, Bateman, Douglas, a really good wide receiver room. So Baker, McBride, Gibbs, Bucky, Metcalf, Sutton, and Dunze Diggs, your starting lineup. This is a solid bench. I like this squad, actually. It's a double hero RB approach. I like this team. Good value. You got the Wii theme song on the background. It's Animal Crossing. I always listen to Animal Crossing music when I edit the videos and when I edit for Fantasy Endgame. It puts my mind where it needs to be. So don't hate. And Animal Crossing is the best game ever. It became a thing last year for me, and I've just never gotten away from it. All right, are we doing another mock draft? Yeah, it's in the chat, boys and girls. Get on in it. I'll put it out on Discord in a minute as well. All right, let's roast my team. I just kind of drafted. The strategy got away from me tonight. New mock link is in the chat at the bottom for you boys and girls. Get in there. Okay. Join the second mock right now. Bijan, Monty, Dobbins, Dowdle. I mean, this is a true hero RB team. You guys were eating up running backs in this draft. I was kind of scared. This is what I was left with. I felt like wide receiver value was pretty good. So I just drafted a lot of wide receivers. So Fields and Goff at QB, Andrews at tight end, starting Bijan and Monty. I do still like Dobbins a lot in the eighth. Rico's my sleeper late round guy. JSN, Wilson, McLaurin, Addison, Myers, Mims. I like this receiver room, but it is kind of missing. There's no intense upside here. We're looking at a lot of floors. So I'm starting Fields or Goff, Andrews, Bijan, Monty, JSN, Wilson, McLaurin, Myers, Addison could work in here. And I guess McLaurin has to be playing for this to work, but I do like Marvin Mims in the 11. So yeah, I don't hate this team by any stretch, but it's missing something. So we talked about, if I went Chase Brown there, still could have got JSN or Wilson. I'm pretty confident in that. Then I probably would have gone McLaurin. Probably would have gone Sutton or T-Mac or Devonta Smith. And honestly, the rest of the draft probably would have been exactly the same. So I think that would have given me more upside overall. So maybe that was the right. All right. Next mock link is live for you guys. And it looks like we only got 2 spots. It's in the chat. It's on Discord. No rando order. Would you guys join? That's your spot. 2 spots. Get on in here. Thank you guys who joined the first draft. 1 spot. Let's get a second one going. Who's going to take the final spot? Whoever does, I will mail you a box of cookies. Tight end by committee in the bottom 10 offense just doesn't cut it for me. Hey, How do you know the Steelers are going to be a bottom 10 offense? Just kidding. Nick Chubb could get cut. Damian Pierce probably the Texans RB to own. Yeah, Pierce been banged up too. Okay, do you guys believe this story about Joe Mixon potentially being cut? It's like there's no like validity to it or whatever, but like apparently that's the thing that people are saying might happen. All right, we're starting. Get ready. I know that I probably don't need to send out the starting thing on Discord, but I do it anyways. All right, let's do it. I will leave 100% of my drafts with either Warren, Kraft, or Loveland. Yeah. I do like I feel like there's a little bit more of a price to Tyler Warren or Colson Loveland, but I like them as a part of that combo as well. I like Warren slightly more right now. That might be a mistake. We'll see. Had to balance my best ball exposure on Loveland. Yeah, I like literally joined like 10 puppies last night or the night before, literally just to balance out overall exposure. I always end up doing it this time of year. Like whoever I usually draft, I'll draft a different player. Let's say, whoever I don't usually draft here, I'm going to draft them. Yeah, I mean, the Animal Crossing music would be a nice touch tonight, guys. We will do a super flex mock soon. Gonna go 8, try to snipe you. Bring it. Let's do it. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. What's up, Ghost Hunter? How you guys doing? Ghost Hunter, good to have you in the draft. Andrew, have a good night. Charlie's in the draft as well. What's up? What's going on? All right, yeah, the Seahawks running it up. Drew Lock with 2 touchdowns. Chiefs standing there defenseless. Gardner Minshew threw a tutty. Robert Tonyan, throwback. Robert Tonyan's on the Chiefs. Watch out, Travis Kelce. Who remembers 2020 when Robert Tonyan was in tight end 4? It looked like he was about to be. He had 52 catches for 586 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. And was the tight end 49 the next year. Man, I was high on Robert Tonyan. I can tell you guys that much. I think that was the first year of the channel. Maybe 2021. But Tonyan was still relevant. Seahawks. Darnold had a good drive. Drew Lock been fine. Damian Martinez has looked pretty good. Yeah, what has Jalen Milrow done this off? I feel like he's done nothing. Yeah, Jake Bobo's 2 tutties. Torrey Horton has a catch. Drew Lock's always in his bag, bro. Always. Jake Bobo's 2 tutties. He's gonna be trending on sleeper again, dude. Dynasty leagues. It's a tough pick right here. I'm gonna go running backs. I just don't know what's gonna be left at running backs. The 3-7. But I think AJ Brown is like as good of a pick as you can get right there. And Amon Ra, AJ Brown is a great start. I got something in my eye. Jake Bobo's a 1.1, Charbonnet is a 1.2. I mean, literally with this being the only other preseason game tonight, like this is the type of hype that preseason can cause. I guarantee you though that Jake Bobo will be in Dynasty Leagues trending again because I feel like kind of became like a borderline cuttable player. I go to the trend. It's not updated. Isaiah Bond, JCM, Darius Cooper, Sean Tucker, Darren Waller. But I guarantee you, Bobo will work himself in there now. Torrey Horton's still 13th on receivers. I guess it's not updated. Is this bad news for Torrey Horton? I mean, when you look at this roster for the Hawks, though, still JSN, Cup, Horton, Bobo, MBS. Like for Bobo to be balling out tonight, I don't think it's necessarily impactful towards anyone except maybe MBS. MBS starting to look like one of the odd mans out of here. Yeah, Jake Bobo has always been a preseason legend. That is true. Got to draft this Sunday 11th pick, keeping JJ. Nice. So you have to forfeit a draft pick, or you just get JJ and you get to draft? Do you still have a first round pick, or is the 111 gone? All right, I'm going to try and stick to strategy here. See what you guys make me do. Chase Brown gone at the 2.7, Karn at the 2.9, Jacobs at the 2.10, JT at the 2.11. I just feel like that tier of running back, including Bucky, is always all over the place. Genty falls to the 2.5 tonight. There's one player still available. I don't think it's interesting. Between picking 2 RB or 1 RB, 1 wide receiver. That is an interesting area to draft from. T. Higgins. Normal draft with keepers. It's hard to say, not knowing what. It's always hard to keep releasing, not knowing what players are going to be gone, exactly what to recommend. But you're going to have JJ already. I mean, yeah, it's tough without knowing who's going to be there and who's not going to be there. But I will say at the 111, generally, like I think it's a great spot, especially in a keeper league. It's a really good spot because once again, so many good players are already going to be completely like dried up there. So to just have the ability to get a first round player and then a second round player who's essentially a first round value is very, very helpful. So I think it's a great spot to be drafted from, and having JJ is a big advantage. But I mean, yeah, if you get any combination of, I mean, really anybody you see on the draft board selected between the first and the mid-second round, then I think you're going to be just fine. Just fine. So Hampton falls to the 3/10 in this draft. I feel like his ADP is very all over the place right now. Very up and down. I passed on him. I'm going to follow a specific strategy, but like, I like Higgins and Wilson. I'm high enough on them that I'm fine with them at the 3.7. But Hampton there is like that player that I like as of late, I've been taking a bit more. What's up, Chase? Good to see you. Can't pass up Lamar or Allen in the third. Yeah, I think you'll see some drafts where, you know, you will see quarterbacks last that long. That'll probably be the limit, right? Third round, but then you'll see some where they're gone in the end of the second. How do we feel about Alvin Kamara? Like, I still like Kamara in this range. I feel like he's another player where his ADP kind of shifts. I mean, I get it. The quarterback situation's what, the worst in the NFL? It's not a worst quarterback room in the NFL, right? Would have taken Higgins there, but I have Chase Brown. Thoughts on drafting both together? I don't have any issue with it. I just wouldn't overthink it. If you think the best available player at whatever position you're trying to target, right? Um, MH is fine there. I prefer Garrett Wilson over MH. I took Higgins for the upside because like Amon Ross, such a safe floor. Pick the upside swing at Higgins as opposed to the arguably safer floor and Garrett Wilson. But no, I don't have any issue. Like, I mean, if it's an offense like the Bengals that we know is going to constantly be putting up points, getting towards the red zone, throwing the football a ton, defense is putting them in bad positions. Like, yeah, Chase Brown and Higgins doesn't worry me whatsoever. When you think about that start, JJ, Chase Brown, Higgins, a lot of upside there. But MH is fine. And I feel like the worst thing that could happen for fantasy this year is that the Bengals defense is somehow good. And then I mean, I don't know. I still think Jamar Chase and Chase Brown and Higgins Burrow would produce, but it's like, what if this defense somehow got it figured out? I don't think it's going to happen. Give me a QB you like mid to late round, not named Justin Fields. Well, and I've already done a lot of actual drafts this year with the fantasy end game community on their Draftland app, and I will say, maybe it's like specific to that community or whatever, but um, quarterbacks are still like kind of falling once the elite tier is gone. And by elite tier, I would say the players that are available on the board right, or no, excuse me, the players that have been taken off the board right now. Allen, Lamar, JD5, Hurts, Burrow. Like then you kind of get into the mid tier. Mahomes, Baker, Bo Nix, and people are willing to push that tier back a little bit. And if that happens, like Baker and Bo Nix can become mid round, if not late round quarterbacks. And there just comes a point in the draft where I feel like, yeah, I'll eat that up all day long. I'll take either of those guys. No worries whatsoever. So Bo Nix, I think Mahomes is at a little bit of a higher ADP where, like he can kind of alternate. But if Bo Nix or Baker are there at a late enough point in the draft, like I'll take them all day long. All day long. So keep that in mind. And then I think past that, like the golf, hey man, I wanted Pickens there. Also, Travis Hunter's hurt. How are we feeling about that? Worried, not worried? It's about Zay Flowers here. I feel like I've been really off on Zay Flowers this year. Anyways, Goff, Kyler, Purdy, Herbert, Prescott, Stroud. I'm putting Fields in that range. I think he should be in that area. I feel like he was before he got the injury, right? Those quarterbacks are very all over the place. I think they're all late round quarterbacks at this point in most single quarterback formats. So I do like Goff a lot. Like even with no Ben Johnson, I guess that's the big question. But he's been a top 10 quarterback in fantasy 3 straight seasons. QB7 or better in 2 of those 3 seasons. I'm not. I'll draft some Kyler. Once again, I know Kyler had the off-floor interception, but outside of that, he looked really good. And people still view Kyler as a bust last year, but he was the QB10 in fantasy. QB10. But yeah, I do feel like I'm not drafting a tremendous amount of Kyler. I'm not drafting a tremendous amount of Herbert. Like I will draft those guys. But I just feel like with Herbert, you in fairness, was a QB12 last year. Which like for me, you don't want to push outside the top 12 quarterbacks. Um, it's just a run first offense. And then I really like Purdy. This is an offense that throws the football a lot. Even last year, it doesn't feel like it, but they threw the football a lot. Top 5 in the league. But Purdy was QB 14. I think he will have positive regression this year. I will say Dak Prescott, though, is the guy I want. I think CJ Stroud could once again be due for a lot of positive regression, especially the way that running back room's looking. And I like JJ McCarthy a lot. JJ McCarthy's my late round guy if all else fails. And the other, like if you punt the position and then people are drafting 2 QBs and like there's nothing there. I like Michael Penix too. Michael Penix and McCarthy are the 2 guys I'll take a swing on. And I think Trevor Lawrence is okay. Cam Ward is interesting in that range too, as is Bryce Young. Like out of McCarthy, Ward, T-Law, Penix, and Bryce Young, I think one of those guys is going to end up being really significant on the waiver wire and potentially be a top 8 quarterback this year. We always like Sam Darnold, Baker, Jared Goff. Always one of these guys creeps in there. Give me Swift all day long right there. But yeah, if you get a Bo Nix, if you get a Baker, they're falling, do it. Don't overthink it. When they're there and you feel like it's a value and they're being pushed back against ADP, do it. Don't pass on those guys. I do feel like Goff is moving back in ADP a little bit. And I think it's fair to degree. No, Ben Johnson is fair. Jared Goff is a player I worry the most about in terms of the offensive line, injuries, and no Ben Johnson. Maybe that sounds crazy, but I don't worry about Gibbs or even Monty or JMO or Amon Ra whatsoever. But Goff is the one who I could see some regression. I mean, he was QB6 last year in fans. I don't think he'll be the QB6 this year. I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I just broke down every late round quarterback, but that's what I usually do. I will say I'm a little worried about Jordan Love right now. I mean, get a procedure done on his non-throwing hand, so I guess that's not that worrisome. But it's there. And then Dontavion Wicks is hurt. Jaden Reed is hurt. Christian Watson is somewhere. Romeo Dobbs is hurt. Matthew Golden better keep it together. I mean, that's my whole thesis on why I like Tucker Kraft. But Tucker Kraft had a groin injury about a week ago, 10 days ago. So I worry about Jordan Love a little bit. I really liked Love going into last year, if you guys remember, and he was hurt early in the year, and I think it impacted the rest of the season. But they just really committed to the run. Like it never felt like they got back to potentially what we saw out of J-Lo in 2000. How do I feel about Olave? I mean, like Olave gone to 6'11" tonight. If Olave is like my wide receiver 4, I'm okay with it. I like Diggs more in that range. And I think there are other names in that range, like Jacoby Myers. Just got drafted. I like Myers more. I'll probably take a dart throw on Matthew Golden. I mean, Olave is going to get all of the volume. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Does it matter? Probably not. but it's got to be the worst quarterback room in the NFL. So I just don't know. Could end up being like one of the best values in the draft to play devil's advocate, but I just don't know if I'm there. I haven't been there all off season, so he's like my wide receiver 4, which like you look at Gobb's team, he's a wide receiver 3 with Myers. I like Myers a lot, so that's fine. And like, just what is like he's a floor play. There's no real upside for me with Olave. Still in the AR late, only QB that late that is top 3 upside. I don't think I can do it. I think I'm just out. Like if Anthony Richardson is going to become a thing again, then quite frankly, I'm just going to fight for him on the waiver wire. And then, like, I just don't think I can trust it. I don't know if I would fight for him on the waiver. He gets bench, he's drop. I mean, that's fair. Like, if he's going to be your final pick of the draft, and you just see what happens, and then your mindset is I can just drop him, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, when you guys are looking at your 13th round targets, I'm good. Whoever you guys like in the 13th round, whatever your thesis is, it's fair. Purdy is old reliable. You guys got to remember, I'm a long time Purdy truther. I was like pounding the table for. I remember people coming on the stream and telling me that Trey Lance was going to be the guy. Now Trey Lance has looked good in the past, 2 weeks or whatever, but like it wasn't going to be Purdy. That was a big debate. I mean, remember Sam Darnold came into the debate that offseason. Okay, there's a big discussion going into 2023 when Purdy was QB6. Niners went to the Super Bowl that year. I feel like I was literally the only content creator who was actually fully in on Brock Purdy. He was my most drafted quarterback on Underdog that year. And I advanced in quite a few tournaments with Purdy that year. But yeah, we saw regression last year. But how much was it on Purdy? Offensive line play was poor last year, and everybody was hurt. And supposedly, according to Kyle Shanahan, we'll get some Purdy tomorrow in preseason action against the Raiders. Purdy's really good, safe pick. Kick schedule. San Francisco projected for a lot of points. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that division, but like we mentioned earlier, I think the Hawks a little sneaky, maybe. I'm pretty worried about the Rams, though. The Niners could run that division this year. I think I'm out on the Cardinals. I got a bad feeling about the Cardinals. Fantasy-wise, it's fine. Brock came through huge in Week 17 last year. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I don't know if anyone really. I mean, I guess you started him. 32 points. All right, sorry, looking at the board. It's a tough pick for me right here. Who do you like better this year, Kelsey or Andrews? I will say Andrews. I've been drafting more Andrews than Kelsey. And like I kind of said all offseason long, I don't really feel like I feel like the Andrews hate has gone like way too far. Um, I don't know. Like I feel like the fact that he dropped the pass against Buffalo is like engraved in everyone's mind. Like that has nothing to do with fantasy. And then like with the trade rumors, Isaiah Likely was very efficient last year. Um, Andrews was, you can argue, touchdown dependent. Had 11 touchdowns last year. He's old, I guess, age 29. Um, he looked to last year in games where Mark Andrews scored double-digit fantasy points. He had a touchdown in every one of those. In games where he did not score a touchdown, he had no double-digit performances, 9.5 or less in all of those. Um, under 9.5 in all of those except for two. And he had two goose eggs. I don't know if you guys remember, Mark Andrews had two goose eggs last year. Weeks 3 and 4. Weeks 3, he was not necessary in that game at all. He was on the field for 33% of snaps. That was the game that the Ravens just ran down the Cowboys' throat. And week 4, I don't remember what that game looked like against Buffalo. But I feel as if that was a game he could have been utilized. Henry had a big game that game. Trying to see who else. I don't know. Now I'm just doing a deep. I mean, even Zay Flowers was barely involved in that game. So yeah, I think it was just another product of. Now that I remember, yeah, it was just a Lamar Henry game again. Back-to-back weeks there. So yeah, answer your question, Andrews. Sorry, it's getting late. I'm going on tangents here. I want to draft MH Jr. more, but I don't have a good feeling of Cardinals. Yeah, that's kind of how I've been throughout the course of the offseason. I've been very up and down. I do like Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's a very safe floor option. I just worry that this coaching staff is not going to be they're not going to have changed in any way whatsoever compared to last year. Now, I don't know how you guys feel in terms of like Cardinals coaching staff being on a hot seat or anything, but that is potentially a unit coaches that could have a could be on the hot seat, and then maybe there's a change at OC or head coach like late or mid points in the season, and then maybe that helps MH. But I just don't know how I feel there. Animal Crossing music is a little funny. Man, running backs just suck at this point. I'm going to go Javonte. I'm just going to draft Javonte. Just give me Javonte. I took Shakir in the 8th, and I'm trying to do my wide receiver running back or vice versa strategy here. But I feel like with Addison, the suspension, I had to even it out. If I would have gone Jordan Mason or Dobbins there, and then gone receiver here in the 9th. But yeah, I felt like I had to even it out. Which leaves me with Javonte. I would have been really sad if I was expecting to go receiver in the 9th and I got sniped on Godwin there. What would have happened? Like Godwin in the 9th round. I mean, I know I talked about this in the video I put out this earlier this week, but like when Godwin falls that far, like to me, that's just like an immense steal on the draft board. You look at some guys here like Joe Mixon in the 7th. This is what I talked about in the video. Godwin in the 9th. Where Jennings in the 8th. I think even Shakir in the 8th fits this mold. Addison in the 7th is pretty normal just because I'm high on Addison, so he didn't fall in this draft. But even like Dobbins in the 8th, those are guys that I'm looking at as just like It's really, really good values, but especially when you see one of them fall, truly fall. Godwin in the ninth to me is a wide receiver 5. JJ, MH, Adams, Pickens, pretty solid running backs. But you look at this, like Mixon is your RB3, Godwin is your wide receiver 5. When they're falling against ADP, really, really solid in my eyes. Really solid. Jay Money, what's going on, man? Let me make this next draft pick, and then I'll dive into your question. What's going on tonight? Good to have you. I'll go ahead and start. 6-point passing touchdown, full PPR, 3 flex, 0.25 points per carry. Okay, 15 rushing yards per 1 point. Pick 12. I mean, yeah, that's a lot to dissect right there. Should I go Nico or Puka and A-Chain? Or A-Chain Jacobs? 2 running backs on pick 12. So running backs have a little bit more value here, right? 15 rushing yards is a point. 0.25 points per carry. 3 flexes. Still full PPR. It's 3 flex. Well, I guess that kind of evens out like alpha wide receiver to running back. Kind of. If running back catches the ball, then they're super OP in this league. Initially, I think I would go Nico, then A-Chain. Then I would target Walker out of that bunch. Walker, Kamara, Connor is how I like that second tier. I think ultimately I would try to come out of the first 4 rounds with 2 running backs and 2 receivers because you're still in a 3 flex format. So I think I go Nico, A-Chain. If you don't land A-Chain, then whoever the best running back is available on the board. Then I do think the running backs in the 3rd round outweigh the value in the 4th. So if you have to go Walker in the 3rd, that's fine. And I would go wide receiver in the 4th. That's tough, man. You got to balance out those 3 flex spots. And that's a lot. But yeah, I'm assuming running backs are pretty OP in this league. So just keep taking shots throughout the draft at the position. Try and keep it even keel across the board is what I would probably do. Injuries, I learned my lesson last year, so willing to just pass on which player. This is the last mock of tonight. This is our second one, but we will be back on tomorrow night. We're more mocking. Basically trying to do as many live mocks as we can. Friday night through either Monday or Tuesday night every week. But we're going to start to have some real drafts mixed in here, as well as the underdog drafts. But give you guys plenty of opportunities. But yeah, it's already our second mock of the night. But we'll be back on tomorrow. So don't worry. Yeah, no Braylon Allen for me tonight. Thoughts on Tootin versus Bigsby? I think I'm higher on Bigsby at this point. He's looked good. throughout the course of the offseason. I keep forgetting about Keenan Allen too. Jeez. I think I would draft Keenan Allen over Marvin Mims. Yeah, earlier in the offseason, I kind of was leaning towards Bashaw Tootin, but it didn't really come to fruition. So I think I'm just kind of in on Bigsby. But I still have kind of looked at that backfield as like the great conundrum of the offseason. ETN at the 8-9 tonight. Bigsby at the 10-7. Cats, get out of here, bro. Taking Tucker from me. What? Tootin's undrafted, right? Or is he drafted? The 10-8. So Bigsby 10-7, Tootin the 10-8. Yeah, I mean, Liam coming in here is going to be able to get these running backs to play to their strengths. I think I think I'm taking the chance on Bigsby at his ADP. I know they need to fix Keenan Allen's ADP. Usually, I am the guy. Got him peeled. His ADP is at 138 overall. I mean, truthfully, I think Allen should be drafted up in like the Debo, Jaden Reed Cup area for sure. I think Pearsall should still be getting drafted higher. Am I crazy for that? I'll go Kincaid here. Might be a mistake. Maybe I should have gone quarterback. Every team in front of me has a tight end, but you guys are sneaky. I think some of you guys will want a second tight end. Yes, I just need to make note. If I want Tucker Kraft, I'm drafting with cats. Keep it in mind. Yeah, I will say, Jay Money, as the draft goes on, there is better value at receiver than there is at running back, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of really good value at receiver between rounds 5 and 8, which is why like a double hero RB strat this year is very, very good. If you go Golden over Olave in a guillotine league, yeah, I think I would. I don't play in guillotine leagues personally, but probably so. Just because I think I'm higher on the upside of Golden than Olave, generally speaking. All right, let's break down some squads. One more around here. Purdy. And Tyler Warren for Jay Fitness. He's got one more pick. Genty, Connor, Tracy, Jadon Blue. This is an interesting build. Kind of similar to what I did tonight. Nico, Garrett Wilson, Scary Terry, Doomsday Jennings, Coleman. I mean, good wide receiver value. I'm not a Coleman guy, but it's your 11th round. I mean, I like Mooney and Bateman more, and Kirk and Tillman, but yeah. I know people like Coleman. Starting Purdy or Warren, excuse me, Purdy and Warren. Genty and Connor, Nico, Gary Wilson, Terry, Doomsday. Tracy Jennings, a good start to the bench, so I don't really care who's left. Good squad. Yeah. I didn't really snipe me tonight. I think if I wasn't trying to do the exact strategy I did tonight, maybe you would have. Yeah, I don't. You didn't really. You didn't snipe me tonight. Tracy in the seventh. If I was going to go running back in the seventh, I definitely would have been going Tracy. But I would have picked him before you. So. No, you didn't snipe me. You didn't. No. The only people who maybe snipe me in this draft are Box and the Jack with Fields and Michael with Prescott. So, but yeah, it's a good squad. Got one more pick though. And I guess the Keenan Allen pick. Man, no love for Jared Goff. Let's see the final pick. Seahawks are running it up. Jake Bobo, perfect pick. You won the draft. All right, Cameron was at the 1-1. Burrow and Bowers. Okay, so you kind of did the opposite of what you did last draft, which I think was. I like that you did that. Try to have both strats here. So Chase Hill, DJ Moore, Diggs. I feel like this is like your normal strat. Brian Robinson, Dobbins, Charbs, Najee, Braylon Allen, Isaac Garando, Algier. This is so dangerous for anyone actually drafting with you in a real league. Like trying to get some late round running back values. Like, all going to camp. I mean, yeah, you know what this team is. You're starting Burrow, Bowers, Chase Hill, Moore, Diggs, and the flex. And you're just taking the best RB1, RB2 that's available. Probably Brian Robinson and Dobbins. A ton of handcuff value. And some handcuffs I really like Charbonnet and Allen. See if Najee Harris survives the year. Yeah, you know exactly what this team is. For the strategy, it's perfectly fine. Welcome, J Fitness. What's up, Michael? Good to have you active in here tonight. Prescott and May. Hawkinson, he went one tight end. Jacobs, Cook, Hendo. Hendo was a good value there in the fifth. I almost wish I went Hendo over Kamara. Benson, Sampson, fine. Lamb, Sutton, Rasheed Rice. Now, Rice here is a better value than last draft for sure. Golden, Downs. A good receiver room. Starting Prescott or May, Hawkinson, Jacobs, Cook, Lamb, Sutton. Probably flexing Hendo, flexing Rice while you can, but then probably flexing Golden. I mean, that's pretty solid. Prescott, Hawk, Jacobs, Cook. Good value on Cook, too, I feel like. I guess Cook's been going a lot later than that, but so never mind. But I won't be surprised if Cook starts to go this early. Lamb, Sutton, Rice, Golden with Hendo in there, too. Yeah, good team. Better team than last year. Thoughts on Team 6. 19 on Kamara and Swift. Yeah, I feel like we both had some good value coming to us in this draft. All right, Kyler at QB is fine. Johnny and Goddard's fine. Chase Brown, Pollard, Mixon, Mason, Bigsby, I think is a good RB room. JJ, Marvin Harrison, Adams, Pickens, Godwin. Yeah, I mean, I think you got really good wide receiver and running back value throughout this draft. And once again, really good individual values on Godwin and Mixon falling to you. So you're starting Kyler, one of the two tight ends, Chase Brown and Pollard, JJ, MH, Adams, Pickens. But I think Mixon, Jordan Mason, Godwin, Bigsby, Goddard's a really solid bench. I think it's a really good squad. What's your guys' panic level right now? Uh, on wait, I guess on Joe Mixon and Chris Godwin. I'm interested, and more importantly, on Devontae Adams because like I feel like Adams hasn't moved that much in ADP. I guess Adams is the one I'm most curious on. Cats, Lamar, Zucker, good. Gibbs, Aaron Jones, ETN, Ramondre, Tootin, Sanders. This is a weird running back room. AJ Brown, Worthy, JMO, Emeka Bukba. It's still getting Kelker in the last round. All right, so starting Lamar and Kraft, Gibbs and Jones, AJ Brown, Worthy, JMO, Flexi, Emeka Bukba, or ETN maybe. Yeah, good. I guess Tootin makes sense here. I mean, I guess I get the thesis on all the running backs here. It's fine if these are the late round guys you like. I mean, I think the core roster looks good. Lamar, Kraft, Gibbs, Jones, Brown, Worthy, J-Mo, Emeka. I think I take one more wide receiver over one of these running backs you took between the 9th and the 12th. But that's it. That's it. What's up, bro? Bo Nix and Trey McBride. Good there. So yeah, this is a good example of a draft where Bo Nix and Baker did fall to the 8th round, like I kind of talked about last draft. I love this range for those two QBs. Barkley, Kyron, Caleb, Tajay, not bad. Metcalf, T-Mac, Judy, Trey Harris, Keenan Allen. Great value there. Said Tillman. I still really like Cedric Tillman there, and I think Thielen's fine at 13. So starting Nix, McBride, Barkley, Kyron, Metcalf, T-Mac, Judy, flexing Caleb. All right, flexing Keenan Allen. So that's not bad. Bench is good enough. Salty. Gob, you're welcome. Bobo. Thoughts on Isaiah Bond? I mean, let's just see if it plays out. I don't think he needs to be drafted and redraft. Bobo's a goat. Yeah, it's pretty even for me, Cameron. Might be reformed. I think both strats can work. Kind of like Cat's saying. I mean, you never know. You got to hit on the right guys. Ghost Hunter's at the 1-9. It's like, this is not Ghost Hunter. Josh Allen, can't say anything bad there. Kelsey and Andrews, fine. I think I maybe felt like Andrews was a good value. I just don't know that I would spend a 6th and a 9th on tight end. I would prefer to take a receiver running back in the 6th. But your tight end room is good. And I know you can flex a tight end, I know. Henry, Monty, Warren, Eckler, Jalen Rice, not bad. Neighbors, Evans, Debo, Shaheed, Burden is okay. Yeah, I would like to see a receiver over Kelsey. Get Romadunze there, or even like get Rashee Rice. I think this draft looks better. You get a Swift or Pollard or Jones. I think this draft looks better. Obviously, you guys can tell I just have beef with draft capital in the tight end position, I think. You're starting Allen, one of the two tight ends. Henry, Monty, Neighbors, Evans. You can flex a tight end and then start Debo. That's fine. I don't think it's the strongest bench out of some of the teams we went over tonight, but I think Shahid and Eckler are fine. So I guess it's okay. Jalen Wright's a handcuff. Burden is a good upside pick. So it's not that bad, actually. I don't know. When you draft this team, do you feel like you would end up flexing a tight end? Or do you think Debo and Warren would be confidently in the flex there? You do have upside at quarterback and tight end on this team. Zero RB feels gross this year. Yeah, you never know. But I do feel like it's a little bit more difficult to go zero RB this year because there's like an inflated value on running backs based on performances last year. I know I drafted Mixon, but I'm really worried about him. Could be out a good while. Adams not that worried about until Stafford is actually ruled out. Usually fights through injuries. Fair enough. What's up, Pete? Smash that like your first round's leg will explode. Yeah, hopefully for Pete it's not JJ. If Bond went anywhere other than Cleveland, their QB situation would have been a good late round target. Yeah, Niners, Washington. I think everyone still thought he was going to go with Chiefs. Tyrone Tracy's a steal this year. Russell Wilson checks down the second most of any quarterback past 3 years. Tracy way undervalued and will win leagues. Possible top 20 RB. Yeah, I've been really high on Tracy all off season long, but I have never brought up or looked into the Russell Wilson check down rate. So I really like that you brought that up. But yeah, I've been very high on Tracy throughout the course of the offseason. And yeah, I don't think top 20 running backs out of the realms of possibilities. And I just put out a video earlier this week um, where I talked about 5 of the most underrated players in fantasy football, and Tyrone Tracy was on that list. Yeah, I'm big on Tracy. Good value, 7th round guy, great value. Expecting more tight ends to go. Yeah, it's hard to predict drafts, put you in that position. I get it. Yeah, potential trade bait. I like to sometimes just take the best available player. That's fair. All right, so I went with like what I call bounce back strategy when wide receiver, running back, all draft until I hit right here because I took Addison. I felt like I wanted to even that out. Late round tight end, late round quarterback. So starting Goff and Kincaid, Bucky, Kamara, St. Brown, Higgins. But then in the flex is what I like. I mean, all these players are flex options, probably flexing Flowers and Swift, but Addison and Shakir are definitely viable flex options, given that Shakir is healthy and when Addison's back from suspension. Devontae could be a starting running back all year long or half the year or 3 weeks. I don't know, but at the ninth, he was the best running back available to me. Mims is my late round dart throw upside swing that I like a lot. And we're starting to get positive reporting on Mims, and people are starting to rise on Mims. I've been there all off season long. Then Rashad White felt like the right pick here because we have Bucky. And White could be ready to go. I mean, he's day to day. He could be ready to go week 1. I still liked him as a good handcuff who has standalone value throughout the course of the offseason. So this is how I drafted like all of my teams like 2 years ago. I mean, whatever you do in the first round, do the opposite in the second and just repeat it and then get a good late round QB or tight end. It's always like an okay build. Not crazy, but you can go into the season, good depth across the board. In a 6-point passing touchdown lead 12 team, should I draft Burrow around 5 with that many flex spots? No. In a 6-point passing touchdown league, people sometimes have this thought process that you should go like more aggressive at the quarterback position, but you actually don't need to. Now, like I get it. If you can't get a top 5 guy, then that puts you in a really good position. And Burrow is closer to the value of a Lamar or a JD5 or Hurts because the passing and rushing touchdowns are both 6 points. Where a lot of leagues would have 4 points per passing, 6 per rushing. But in a 6-point passing touchdown league, Guys like Baker, Bo Nix, even guys like Goff, Prescott. They're going to throw a lot of touchdowns too, you know. So you can get more out of your late round quarterbacks than in a traditional league. As a reminder, all the catch community leagues that I put together are 6-point passing touchdown leagues. I've always done it that way. We do have a real draft on Sunday. It's going to be a good draft. It's going to be a good league. League number 2 is loaded. All the leagues this year are loaded. I'm a little intimidated. Yeah, League 2 is going to be a lot of fun. And we are drafting on Sunday night. Promptly at 8 p.m. Eastern. There's some dogs in that league. We're going to start to have a lot of real drafts. You're here to watch the master cook. Let's go. Yeah, even in a 3, and I think that's the thing too, in a 3 flex league, I'd be more concerned about loading up at receiver and running back, and I would take the value of a late round quarterback. Is what I would do personally. All right, boys and girls, great mocks tonight. Thank you guys for coming out, hanging out. I will have a video up for you guys tomorrow. I will be live again tomorrow night. We will run more mock drafts tomorrow night. Probably get an underdog draft in as well. And that'll do it. 2 solid mocks in a row. Some good fantasy talk. Little preseason action. Jake Bobo, the GOAT. We'll be back tomorrow. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for mocking, and that does it. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow night. We'll some more preseason games to actually react to. A lot of games on the slate tomorrow. So thank you guys for hanging out. It's late. So with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the catch. And peace.